through many MOCs, spaceships, and much more. Here at James Lego Studio, we are inspiring all, one brick at a time, to build more epic Lego MOCs.
So welcome back to James Lego Studio. This is Jordan with another update on the Alien Cruiser for episode 7. So we're going to start off in the back with finishing off these details and finishing off these triangular hinged panels to be able to make sure that the battery and the light controller is going to be able to slide in and out once I take the middle engine out. Then after that, we're going to be working our way up in the front with extending the hallway and finishing the interior detail and finishing off the detail on the panels. And then hopefully we will be starting the command bridge soon. So with that, let's get to finishing the back detail. So as we can see, we have all the side panels fully detailed in the back face of the Alien Cruiser on both sides, as well as we got the triangular panels circling around this middle engine on the bottom. Now a detail I want to touch on is that similar to the top panel, I use the snot techniques to get these dark bluish gray lines to go vertical like this, and then I have some smaller laser cannons that cover the rear flank of the Alien Cruiser. So I made these just using a pneumatic hose connector, some wrenches, and some sand green telescopes, and they hinge on the 2x2 round dish in the greebling there. And then in terms for these panels, I just tried to include a lot of depth in the detailing and tried to make it interesting yet match the curvature of the engine. So our next step is to try to fill in this gap up at the top to finish off the panel. Just a little bit left to go on both sides there, and then we're going to be working on the ugly bottom side and getting some very nice structure and well looking detail that matches the rest of the aesthetics. So now we just got a very good start on structuring out the bottom and transitioning it into this back face, as well as blending in these wings from the side panels in on the corners, and it's turned out pretty well so far, as you can see. But this is very thick and heavy, and there's a purpose for that, and that is because in the front of the ship there's going to be so much more weight hanging off of the stand from where the stand locations are on the ship, that I need to have something to help try to balance out that weight in the front that's hanging farther out. So I needed to make this as solid as I could in order to try to help counteract that. And in addition, that this is also supposed to be like a carrying spot. So when we transport this is going to be one of the key lifting areas to help hoist the ship into the wooden crate that I'm going to be making. But now, as you can see, I left this relatively undetailed on the bottom as I've started to detail work on the front here. So now we're going to finish up the rest of this detail, finish up some panels for some detail on there, but making sure there's not too much greebling that'll fall off when you carry it. And then we'll be working on more of the front command bridge in there. And one more thing was we've also touched up this little corner area with a smaller little panel on both sides. So let's finish this up. So I've just finished the bottom panel and I'm about to attach it, but before I do, so I can get the best lighting, I wanted to show you the details on it. So on this I decided to add another turbo laser on here, And then I detailed that with some basic greebling, but I wanted to keep the smooth look of this. So now I am going to attach this under, and we are going to work on the front area of the hallway and start up by the command bridge. So now we've started adding to the front area of the hallway area, going right up against the command bridge. So I finished up the detail minus the parts that I ran out of, which is the 2x2 curve slopes that are going to continue along this line here. And the other part is the 2x2 dark blue gray jumpers. We go all the way across here to put these tiles on, which I still have a lot of. Otherwise, I finished filling in the gaps and sloped from this window down to this one, and then did a similar kind of transition of detail that I did for this window over here to make it have a nice flow. So that's that. And we have on the inside an expansion of the hallway section. So I really like the stripe detail of dark bluish gray and sand green, but yet including some studs so that I can stick minifigures on, or I can stick these robot drones that I have. You can just grab one, set him there. So I really like how simple and clean the design is for the flooring. And now the next area we're going to work on in here is to include some sliding doors like they have in most futuristic spaceships, and we're going to finish up some unique detail on the sidewall that's going to be similar but different than what's in this of the hallway. Alright, so now we finished the second segment of the hallway. We have a very similar look to keep the nice flow to it going. So this is the first one as we transition over to the second one. I wanted to include a slightly different detail toward the bottom there, having the engine cooling systems going throughout the ship, more jut out on this one versus more of the flatter wall on this. And then I have a nice transition with some sliding doors in the middle. I figured all futuristic spaceships need at least some sort of sliding door, so that's why I included that. Otherwise, we have a very nice look to it. So now we're going to be going up toward the command bridge and really starting to hammer this out. So as you can see, we started working on the main structure of the side panels of the command center. Though these panels are quite basic, they're going to be quite sturdy and strong when they're interlocked with the plates below it. And this way I can keep a balance of the similar aesthetics along the entire alien cruiser with this structure. And on the inside, you notice I was using the 1x4 snot bricks. That's so I can get the other detail on the inside, yet using a thin and structured wall. So we're going to keep working on these structures for the bottom half, where I'm going to have to invert them by flipping the brackets the other way in here, and then being able to clamp it together at the studs there, and so that I can lock out the studs on the bottom of these Technic bricks. I'd like to mention as well about the engines shapes in the back of the ship in comparison with the drawing. So as you can see, we have 3 engines in the back with all of this detail completed, as well as underneath. As you can see, we have the turbo laser and lots of nice smooth greebling detail. It stuck to the look of the drawing very well, although in here I have the engine sizes different, so that's just one of the design changes I ended up making. In fact, I was originally going to do 5 engines and make it almost like the Tantive 4, which I'll throw up a picture for like the engine look that I was thinking of, but ultimately I decided that the 3 engine look is going to be much better, so that's what I stuck with for that structure. And these 2 engines will be used for maybe some future alien ship projects, which is a small hint to what I'm possibly doing next, though it's going to be quite different. And also, in terms of these side panels, originally I was trying to make it look like all like different energy bursts and super organic, but the idea didn't end up structurally too sound and I couldn't quite get what he wanted there. So I ended up changing the design for the smoother trans dark blue lines, but still packed it in with lots of smooth and yet densely packed greebling as well. So it kind of gets the look I was originally going for, but I think I like the look of this a little bit better. So that's one of the other design changes that happened from drawing to physical form of what I am building in person. And there's one other change I would like to talk about, is that you see these like almost like spikes that I have in the drawing toward the neck and hallway section. Personally, I think for the flow of the ship, it's just not gonna quite make sense to have those there after keeping this at a much smoother look than I anticipated for the side panels. So I'm gonna more have like a smoother slope going across all of this, instead of having those like spikes or like horns, I guess, if you want to call them that. And then same with the underneath here. I decided to keep it smooth and have some like satellite dishes and radars and antennas instead of those big spikes. So we're sticking to a much smoother look than I originally drew on the drawing, but I like the way this is turning out so far. So I just like to quickly mention about the shape of the command bridge in comparison with the drawing and where it's at right now. So as you can see, it's a little bit, for sure, like square and not like having any curvature to it. So in the next episode, we're gonna be working on this curvature and getting that shape sorted out, covering up all the motors and EV3 components down below. And then we'll try to finish up this like windshield area and transition structure to that windshield. And for that, I'm planning on using very, very big 10 by 10 quarter domes like these, kind of lined up into the front, but having a lot more trans dark blue brick in between to get a taller window. So I'll leave you off with that for now. As you'll see, a lot of this command bridge is mostly going to be finished in the next episode, which will be a lot of progress update. So, and also I just want to mention that you should stay tuned for an announcement coming soon about a certain virtual show that I'll be displaying in. So, thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe, as we're almost at 200 subs, so if you can get there, that would be awesome. And I'll see you next time with obviously more MOCs.